सबका मैं स्वागत करती हूँ। मैं सुरभि आलूवालिया हूँ, प्रधान आयकर आयुक्त जो सीबीडीटी का मीडिया और उनका स्पोक्सपर्सन का काम देखती हूँ। मंच पर मेरे साथ आसीन हैं अध्यक्ष केंद्रीय प्रत्यक्ष कर बोर्ड यानी हमारे चेयरमैन सीबीडीटी श्री जेबी महापात्रा साहब। उनके साथ ही मंच पर आसीन हैं प्रधान मुख्य आयकर आयुक्त ओडिशा रीजन श्री परनीत सचदेव जी। आप सबका सबसे पहले मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगी कि आप लोगों ने अपना समय निकाल के यहाँ आप पधारे हैं। पीआईडी के मार्फत आप लोगों से मुलाकात हो रही है, पीआईडी वालों का भी मैं एक धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ। हमारा फॉर्मेट ये रहेगा कि हम शुरुआत में चेयरमैन साहब कुछ अपने विचार आप सब लोगों के सामने रखेंगे, उसके बाद हम कुछ प्रश्न देंगे। आपका जो फोल्डर्स हैं जो आप सबके पास हैं उसमें हमने एक छोटा सा राइटअप दिया है जो कि हिंदी, इंग्लिश और उड़िया तीनों भाषाओं में है। आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप अपने प्रश्न कृपया एज फार एज पॉसिबल उन्हीं मुद्दों पर सीमित रखें ताकि वो इंटरेक्शन एक मीनिंगफुल इंटरेक्शन हो सके। मैं इससे पहले कि चेयरमैन साहब से निवेदन करूं कि वे कुछ अपने विचार आपके सामने व्यक्त करें। Just a few lines on him for the benefit of all who are present here. JB Mohapatra साहब 1985 बैच के इंडियन रेवेन्यू सर्विस ऑफिसर हैं। चेयरमैन के पद के पहले ये प्रिंसिपल सीसी यानी प्रधान मुख्य आयकर आयुक्त एपी और तेलंगाना रीजन में थे। आपने विभिन्न मंत्रालयों में जेएस और एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी लेवल की पोस्ट भी संभाली है। और सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी मुझे होती है आपको बताने में कि साहब ने जब से चेयरमैन सीबीडीटी का चार्ज संभाला है, ये विभाग में पहली बार हुआ है कि हम 14 लाख करोड़ से ज़्यादा की कलेक्शंस कर पाए हैं, जो कि आज के पहले कभी भी नहीं हुआ था। और सबसे खूबसूरत बात यह है कि ये उड़ीसा की धरती से एक घनिष्ठता रखते हैं, ही इज़ द सन ऑफ द सॉइल। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं चेयरमैन सर से निवेदन करती हूँ कि वे अपने विचार आप सब लोगों के सामने प्रस्तुत करें।
Before I lay down what lies ahead, let me give a brief account of a brilliant last year which the direct taxes performed. In the whole of the block of last 5 years, last year's collections of 14.09 lakh crores is the best ever collection numbers as far as income tax and corporation tax is concerned. The department reached a number of 11.44 crores. The department never could reach 12 lakh crores in any of the previous years. So this year we not only reached 12, we crossed 12, we crossed 13 lakh and we reached 14 lakh crores. This is by far 2.5 lakh crores more than ever collected any time in the history of this department. This is the net collections after accounting for all refunds. If you look at the gross collections, our numbers are more than 16 lakh crores, 16.36 lakh crores. Never in the history of the department our gross numbers, that is including refund, has gone beyond 12.98 lakh crores. Both in gross collection numbers and in net collection numbers, the hardening of the direct tax collection numbers this year is a major indication of many things. One of the prime movers upwards of the collection numbers to rise is the strengthening of the Indian economy. This gives the clearest signal that the economy has bounced back after 2 bad years. Against 14.09 lakh crores of collection this year. Our last year's collection was only 9.44 lakh crores. So in a single year, we were touching nearly upwards of 4 lakh, 4.5 lakh crores, which is roughly 49.5% more than the last year. This number, the reason as to why the number rose so sharply, apart from the strengthening of the Indian economy, also is partly accounted by the reforms which the government of India has been doing, persevering over a period of time in the last 5 to 6 years. Reforms within the department and reforms outside the department, they have all contributed in major part in getting the economy together, holding the economy together, and also propelling the collections to move forward. Within the income tax department also, there are significant achievements, all related to the reforms which we have done in the last 2 to 3 years. The bringing on of the faceless assessment appeal is one such example. Our technological induction in a much greater way into the department's functioning also is helping. The information collection system, which we call the annual information system, AIS, and an improved version of 26 AS, it is making sure that anybody's financial transactions from different sources, from different reporting entities, they are compiled and on a real time or on a small time lag, it is getting back to that potential taxpayer or the taxpayer. So he is seeing his own transactions in his own way. Phase 1 and phase 2, capturing various transactions of a particular entity, be it from purchase and sale of units, purchase and sale of shares, purchase and sale of house property, his interest, his rental income, etc. They are not being compiled only, they are also being sent back to him. That these are your transactions. Is there any tax consequence for all the activities which you have done? And I am proud to say that this has had a positive impact on our collection numbers. Instead of relying on the taxpayer to go and get all the data from many other sources, from many sources, now the taxpayer has to rely on the information given by the income tax department to prepare his return. Pre-filling of the return also is a great step in helping the taxpayer. We want sincerely that the taxpayer is inconvenienced the least for filing the tax return and paying his taxes. The tax filing should be an experience we should remember very fondly. We will go all the way to expand the taxpayer base. The taxpayer base has increased in some measure in this year compared to last year. This year's taxpayers numbers have increased to 7.14 crores, which was 6.97 crores last year. So that is an increase, but we want the taxpayer base also to increase, and we also want people migrate from one lower quadrant of taxable entity to a higher quadrant. As economy gets harder and gets more strength, and as the taxpayer base increase, there is prosperity around, I am sure the tax collections numbers they increase. At this point in time, the tax to GDP ratio is around 12%. There is absolute sincere effort on part of the department that this direct tax to GDP increase to 15 to 20%, in 5, 10, 15 years time. And also, at this point in time as I speak, direct tax collections this year, it has surpassed the indirect tax collections, which was the other way around in the last year. It is now 52%. We want, as a department and even the government would like the direct taxes to increase further in the tax mix. Our aim is to look at 60% of the tax contributions coming from direct taxes in some years' time. There is constant effort on the part of the department to expand the tax base and make the tax filing and the tax payment experience of the taxpayers easier and more convenient. So this is as far as the last year which has gone by, an account of that. Let me also tell you that the numbers for the current year, the budget estimates number, BE number for 22-23 is 14.20 lakh crores. Because we have achieved 14.09 lakh crores this year, there is absolute certainty. We are on a very strong wicket as far as collections are concerned. We are very hopeful that 22-23 numbers also will be crossed. As far as Odisha is concerned, its direct tax collection numbers are concerned, Odisha has done remarkably well, just like India has done overall. Odisha's number last year, I mean year before last, 2021, was a little over 10,000 crores. This year, it is in 15,500 bracket. So Odisha's increase is almost equal to India's increase. Odisha's direct tax numbers is an exact replica of what's happening to India overall, the direct taxes. The tax filing numbers also for Odisha at 12.94 lakh also is a significant increase over the previous years. All said and done, I have the fullest confidence that Odisha on its part is contributing to the direct tax collections in its own way. Out of a 14.09 lakh crores, 15,000 crores may not appear sizable, but it is one of the areas which we are looking at. We want Odisha, the taxpayer base and the collection numbers to increase, and with the potential it has, there is good enough hope and reason as to why Odisha also will come up. It is now at 16th position out of the 18 principal chief charges, but slowly got every hope that Odisha also will rise in the leaderboard positions in the years to come. So my I leave this point with fullest confidence that as a department we are on the right track with the greatest of the cooperation and guidance from the government with regard to policy matters, and this is the way forward. Collaborating with each other, helping out each other, getting the best possible policy advice from the government and moving forward for executing those. Thank you.
A meaningful discussion possible.
Who has paid the highest tax, direct tax this year?
Sorry?
Highest direct tax this year.
Who has paid the highest direct tax? You mean to say person or entity?
Person with
Let me tell you, let me answer it in this way. I'll talk only of Odisha, because I cannot name any entity because there is a restriction of sharing of names and all. The corporate tax in Odisha is around 9,600 out of a 15,000. So Odisha's corporate tax collections, they are much higher, much stronger as compared to the personal income tax, the PIT. City is higher as compared to the PIT. And our top 25 taxpayers of Odisha, who are contributing nearly 75% of the total collections, now are contributing 82% of the total collections. So without naming names, I would say we got solid, significant companies in Odisha who are contributing to the overall collection numbers. And as you would know, being a mining dependent state for generation of revenues, both for the state government and also on a rebound on our side also, in the direct tax also, 53% of our direct tax collections in Odisha is coming from mining. 22% is coming from the port-based activities, ports, right? So the major strength in Odisha's direct tax collection is coming from the corporates, the large corporates. Significant point which you have made, how to increase the tax base. In a population in excess of 130 crores, our taxpayers is only 7.14 crores. So there is a room as to how the numbers, there is a room for increasing the numbers. And towards that end, there are many actions which are being undertaken. What we are following is the nudge policy. We are nudging people. We are trying to push the tax literacy into the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, right? In the smaller cities and small satellite towns. So we will go the whole length in order to expand the tax literacy of the nation. And in that manner, we are hoping that in a few years' time, the number of actual taxpayers, the return filers, they also increase. Yeah, that there will be a conscious attempt to increase the tax base. So that is 21-22 target. 22-23 target of 14.20 lakh crores, which was given in the last year's budget, it has not yet been allocated. Odisha will get according to its potential. Of course, it will be more than 15,481 crores, which they achieved last year. It will be much more than that. Parneeth is smiling, but he has to come and he has to deliver. The principal chief has to deliver. So that is there. And the Odisha's numbers are good in some way. In a sense, a block of last 5 years, Odisha has crossed 13,000 crores in 2 years. It has crossed 10,000 crores in 2 years, and this year it crossed 13 and 14 and it reached 15, just like India did this year.
More advanced technology for the filing system. So most of the time the taxpayers are facing technical glitches. After you have given the developing of the portal to Infosys, so many times these types of problems are faced by taxpayers. And so, permanent solution to this.
I will not deny that when it was opened, the e-filing portal, e-filing 2.0, combined e-filing and e-processing portal, in June of last year, there were initial glitches, and the glitches continued for a long time. It continued for 3 months at least, right? There were real problems at that point in time. There have been constant engagement with the MSP, who is Infosys, with the portal, which you are saying it was full of glitches. It shows that the portal, despite the initial hiccups, it rose to the occasion and it could cater to accommodate a return size of 7.14 crores. So the permanent solution of these kind of software platforms, software solution platforms, will never happen, because there will be some or other scenarios which would not have been thought of at the initial conception. So there will be some kind of issues time and again, but the basic the basic task on the part of the department will be how quick to react and how user friendly the newer adoptions will be. So that's what we are looking at.
Who is number one in collecting taxes?
Bombay is more than 4.40 lakh crores. 4.40 lakh crores out of a total of 14.09 lakh crores.
Sorry, can you be louder, please?
What is the prospect of direct tax code?
That is under consideration. But if you have gone through the whole history of the direct tax code, this is an ever-changing subject. And every year there will be judicial pronouncements and there will be amendments to the act. So the point is crystallizing a particular position into a direct tax code in a particular year and a particular given point in time. It's very, very sensitive. So we are waiting and watching, and let's see how it goes. Cannot give any committed timeline for that.
Whether committee is serious about it or not? What is your thought?
Sir,
So what is the taxation for cryptocurrencies?
for the first time in the legislation, in the tax legislation, cryptocurrency trading only is being taxed. 115 BBH, in which 30% of the surplus on trading of crypto assets, we don't call it crypto, we call it VDA, virtual digital assets. It will be taxed at 30% of the surplus. There will be no expenditure which will be allowed except the cost of acquisition. You have purchased at X, you have sold at Y, Y minus X will be taxed at 30%. There will be no loss which will be allowed against the crypto trading. And for transacting in the VDA, the virtual digital assets, there is a TDS provision under section 191S, when at the time of payment by the purchaser, he has to deduct 1% of the total consideration and pay it as TDS. And the TDS provisions kicking from 1st of July 2022.